Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Transformers 1 collapsing at the box office in its second week due to the Wild Robot, another animated robot movie. Am I allowed to talk about this objectively?
I don't know, because even if you say nice things, some wacko is going to, threaten to beat you up.
The Transformers subreddit, there was like some weirdo that posted a video clip, like a Yakuza video clip, and was like, I'm gonna find this guy, and implying physical violence because we did a video talking about how Transformers 1 didn't do very well. But we said repeatedly in the video, if you'd actually watched the video, that everything we've heard is that the movie's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It just it
advertising wasn't great.
The advertising sucked, and it failed for other reasons. But they even bring that up in Joe Blow here too.
But even the Wild Robots box office isn't great.
Not for
30
DreamWorks.
million.
Yeah.
So it's going to open north of 30 million, and that was enough to take out Transformers 1.
Yeah.
So my takeaway is neither one of these films were ones people were itching to see. Now, I wanted to see the Wild Robot, but I heard there was animal issues, and I probably won't watch it. But I hear it's good, though.
Let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to Clownfish Minus. We post original content out there, podcasts, and we're going to be posting some more videos. And we're going to ramp this up. It's a great way to support the channel. We do not do endless 24/7 live streams, but your first month is 50% off. We also have our products out there in our store, and anybody can buy these. But if you're a member, you do get a discount off of those. So, and I really like this hat. I keep saying how much
stop saying it. We know.
But I like this hat.
We know.
We sold a lot of these hats.
Well, people have taste, but we know.
All right, so let's talk about this, because I have said before in the video I am a huge Transformers fan.
He is.
And
you should see the wall behind him and the wall beside me and the office at our house. Anyway.
Oh my God. I don't know how many I have now. I actually tripled the number of Transformers I had, because I had a bunch back in the day, and you had a bunch of ponies, and then we sold our collections off to help put a down payment on the house, the first house we bought. And then the collections just kind of multiply again.
Yeah,
it was anyway, Transformers 1. The marketing was terrible. The movie flopped opening weekend. People said, oh, it's going to be fine. They're going to make a comeback. And then we're like, oh, the Wild Robot comes out next weekend. That's not good.
Yeah, I still thought it would beat the Wild Robot, but it didn't. And like I said, the Wild Robot didn't do fantastic either. 30 million is not great.
Not for a DreamWorks movie. Not for a DreamWorks movie directed by the guy who did How to Train Your Dragon and Lilo and Stitch. So this comes from Joe Blow. Take it up with them. Box office update: The Wild Robot opening way ahead of expectations. Transformers 1
way ahead. Wow.
Collapses in week 2. Now, historically, September is kind of a dead time for movies, and a lot of times studios will send a movie out to die in September. August and September are not good. And remember, guys, the original Transformers 1986 movie came out at the peak of the popularity of the Transformers toy line, and it bombed. It came out in August. The Wild Robot looks like it's going to do, north of 30 million, and Transformers 1 lost a huge chunk of its audience. It was down like 50 or 60%. In a surprising twist of fate, they said, the exceedingly well-received The Wild Robot is opening way ahead of expectations. Deadline says the film now is going to be opening at 35 million.
Okay, so that's good for it. It was ahead of what I expected.
Yeah, which is about 10 million more than even the most optimistic industry estimates and 20 million or so ahead of my own predictions.
So go them.
So that's actually
good.
That actually is pretty good. Now, Transformers, it was supposed to open at 35 to 40 million, and it did not. It opened like 25. That's good for DreamWorks. And this is really one of the best movies they've ever made.
I'm hearing it's really good. And I really want to see it, but I'm afraid to see it because of other things I don't know if I like. Yeah.
Animal issues. In the meantime, Beetlejuice 2 is moving down to second place with 15.5 million. It was number 1 for 3 weeks in a row. It's going to do 250 million domestic, which is way more than the original Beetlejuice did. I don't think people realize, Beetlejuice was kind of a sleeper hit, and they had the cartoon show and they had toys and stuff, but then everybody forgot it existed for years, and then they decided they were going to bring it back with the musical and all this merchandise and stuff. Sadly, Transformers 1, despite excellent word of mouth.
We've heard. It's only heard good things.
is crashing and burning at the box office. Oh my God, Joe Blow, can you say that? Reddit's going to call you out.
I'm telling you, it's because the advertising really misrepresented the film.
And the Transformers all have kissy lips, and it looks weird. Posting a huge 59% decline in week 2 for a $10 million weekend.
Ooh.
With a 39 million domestic total. This one will be lucky to hit 55 million by the end of its run.
How much did it cost?
It was like 75 million.
Oh.
Which is disastrous for the franchise. That's too bad, they said. It's actually a good movie. A lot of people that have seen it told me it was a good movie. I haven't seen it yet. It'll probably be out of the theater by the time I get around to it. But it seems like this is one franchise that maybe has run its course, even if Paramount is still planning to do that G.I. Joe crossover.
I was wondering, is this going to impact that? I was just thinking about that before you read that part.
Yeah, just, at this point, just take the Energon universe and make it a movie. Just do G.I. Joe and Transformers just like the comics, because people love that. It's so weird to see this, because like Transformers, those movies have been in decline, since the third Bayformers movie, because 4 and 5 were god awful. People didn't go see Bumblebee because 4 and 5 were god awful. And Energon Universe, Transformers and G.I. Joe comics, they're the top selling comic books in the industry right now. Mm-hmm. So people have an interest in these characters, but they want these characters done correctly. And I think this one the marketing was bad. It looked like a doofy kids movie, and it looked like something you'd watch on streaming. I'm going to be honest. I mean, the animation wasn't anything. I don't personally think it was anything to write home about. It doesn't mean it was bad. It was just like people look at this and they're like, yeah, they have Netflix Transformers shows. And it looks just like this, But Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis is being called Megaflopolis. I actually wanted to see it.
Yeah, but I love this. He said, I didn't like the movie, but, I feel bad it's bombing. You should probably go because I think people should see it even though it sucks. Why? Why would I go see it if you say it sucks?
Because Reddit says you have to.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'll take that money and buy a pony. It's all good.
Yeah, there we go. CBR. Is the new Transformers movie already a box office flop? What happened?
Are they blaming Toxic Men, the Chuds? What are they blaming on this one?
Oh my God. I know they watch our videos. The reason for Transformers 1 landing with a thud at the box office are many, and they stem mostly from how the movie's content has been marketed.
Okay, thank you. That's what we've been saying.
What?
It did not look good from the trailers. We were like, I'm not interested from the trailers. And I really think, and people said that the trailers did it so dirty. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. It's like almost like we were making sense.
The biggest issue with the marketing was the tone, namely in terms of how it was portrayed in the trailers. I watched this, and this coupled with the toys that they revealed at first, that were like the kids' toys. I'm like, okay, I get what they're doing. They're trying to get kids back into Transformers, but I'm like, how is this any different than like Earthspark? Right.
Well, they're saying that, the first trailer was a joke, and they said that they doubled down on that with other trailers. Because they kept showcasing it as if it was a kid's movie. And then it turned out it wasn't.
Yeah. Previews of the movie doubled down on this tone, leaving older fans disappointed. In terms of the film being a kid's movie, this defense was many times rebutted by the fact that the trailer for the 86 Transformers the movie showcased how adventurous and action-packed everything was.
They killed Optimus Prime.
Yeah, and they actually teased it in the trailer. They like gave the whole freaking movie away in the trailer.
Well, you can answer your own question by saying what year? 86.
86.
They used to do that all the time in the trailers.
They had a heavy metal soundtrack. I remember the trailer because they were running it constantly. Like when you're watching a TV show, they're running the trailer for it, and then you go see any movie that year and they ran the trailer for any kids movie, and it was like heavy metal music, freaking planets eating other planets.
But it was the 80s.
Yeah, and they're like, does Optimus Prime die? You have to go see this awesome radical movie to find out.
Yeah, it was the 80s, so of course he did, because back then no one gave a shit about our mental health.
They didn't. Oh my God. So yeah, the whole, like, as someone who was the target age for Transformers when the movie came out, right? Absolutely devastated. It was like I don't even know what to compare it to. I mean, it would just be like I said, like if you took kids to go see Pokemon movie and they just like popped a cap in Ash's head in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and it's like, oh yeah, it's all new characters now. And that's what it was. It was like every character that I grew up watching, they killed them all within the first 20 minutes of the movie. And then Optimus Prime, they just dragged that death out So it hurt.
Well, interesting enough on this list, the top one was Bumblebee, and the second highest one is Transformers 1. So you probably would have liked it if you got to go see it because you like Bumblebee. But those two, well, at least Bumblebee went with the basic, like, well, here's what Transformers used to feel like.
Yeah, Bumblebee should have been the first Transformers movie. It would have made a lot more sense. It was G1. He was a Volkswagen. Prime looked like Prime. The robot designs were dead on. They had the more elaborate robot designs, but you could tell who the hell they were. Like, that was one of my biggest problems I had with the Bayformers movie is I'm like, okay, this pile of scrap is supposed to be who versus this other pile of scrap.
I'm looking at the Bayformers ones, and they all made a lot of money, but the reviews, the scores are crap because they weren't that good.
They were not good. This one especially. Age of Extinction was pretty bad. And what was the other one last night? Oh, yeah, that one was dog shit. I never finished it. I got halfway through it, and I'm like, screw this. And even Rise of the Beast, like, it had some good moments, but I'm like, one, it's too soon for Beast Wars. And like, why are we pivoting so hard away from Bumblebee? You had a good thing going, and now we're going to make it like really unnecessarily complicated.
Right. What interested me was Bumblebee had 90% Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. Transformers 1 is an 88%.
Yeah.
Even the Metacritic scores are higher on those. And even IMDb also has a higher rating on Transformers 1. So, Bumblebee wasn't great, but it was still better than a lot of the other ones. So I'm thinking it was probably something old school fans would like. And it was not advertised in that way at all.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think if they had done that, but again, the problem Hasbro's having just in general is they're running out of children. Wait, that sounds really bad, but they are because
Hollywood's running out of children.
But the thing is like, I guess my thought here is if you're trying to appeal to mostly to kidults, to adult collectors, then you should have leaned into the fact that this was, a more serious movie than how they made it.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have made him have kissy lips.
No, he shouldn't have. Prime should never have. He should never have
Prime
lips
should have the face back on his face.
Put the mask back
on.
Unless
they give him that later. I don't know, but. Yeah, many mistakes were made, and it was really, really poor marketing. And we've been saying that, and I don't care if else gets pissed. Other places are saying it now too. Welcome to the party.
Yeah, I'll watch it when it comes out on streaming. I mean, same thing happened with Dungeons and Dragons, right? I didn't watch Dungeons and Dragons because it was marketed very poorly, and the whole conversation around the movie was like, we're gonna emasculate men. I'm like, oh hell no. I finally got around to watching it like 8 months after it was out of the theater, and I freaking loved it. It actually
was me wanting to watch it, and I made you watch it.
Yeah, you made me watch it. Like, oh, let's watch Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm like, oh, hey, this is actually pretty good. And if they hadn't shot the bed with the marketing, I might have actually gone to have seen this in the theater. But they're not good at this. Hasbro, you should stick to making toys, right? That's what you need to do. We're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Join the reef. Go to clownfishminus.com. That's clownfishminus.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfishminus.com. Thank you so much for the support.